TaxAct understands you haven't memorized the tax code. That's why TaxAct has live experts to help. TaxAct can even do it for you if you prefer. It's the easiest way to know you're doing it right. Well, other than going back to college and obtaining a bachelor's degree in accounting with a minor in finance, then interning somewhere and becoming fluent in all tax forms. But that might be hard to accomplish before tax day. So maybe just stick with TaxAct. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi. Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
The great Brilyn Hollyhand, 19 years old. You know the story. Charlie Kirk, fourth grade, and over 1 million times. He's on every Tuesday now, and he's out there and pumping up Gen Z, and he's done very well for President Trump, and I know the president knows that. He's not alone in his criticism of Trump yesterday. Riley Gaines, she really lowered the boom, and the president is, I never liked her anyway. That's not true. You did like her. You still like her. She said, I still love you. It's okay. I still love you. I know how you work. But President Trump, that was an unforced error. I'm not Christian. I'm not Catholic, but I respect all religions. And I had a lot of friends, not just Brilyn Hollyhand and Riley Gaines, famous people, a lot of friends in New York and New Jersey who were very upset. Trump supporters, very upset. So I do want to put this thing away because he did take it down. And I don't want to spend too much time criticizing Trump because I'm scared to death we're going to lose the midterms and 2028. But it is worth mentioning. It is a big story today. And Brilyn, I'd love to argue with you, but I don't see how any sane person can. I think you were being a little disingenuous, though. You want to ask me why?
Why? Because
you used the word frustrated and you were pissed. And it's okay. Look, now I know why you did it, because you know the president. And if it gets back to him that Brilyn was pissed, you do run the risk. He won't talk to you. Seriously, he won't talk to you. So all of us, when we criticize the president because we love him, we're very careful in the verbiage we use. But you weren't frustrated. You were pissed, right? Come on.
I think you picked up on that pretty quickly. One of the first texts I woke up to yesterday was from my buddy Sid, and he said, "Are you frustrated or angry?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'm frustrated." He said, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And I stuck with, "I'm frustrated." And here's the explanation. I was on Fox Sunday night defending President Trump, defending his record, and defending why Gen Z should vote for him in the midterms. And then I get off the segment and come to my phone with text after text after text, not from politicians, not from reporters, from classmates of mine, from hometown friends of mine, people who do not watch politics at all, but are frustrated about this post, people that do not pay attention and are outside of the political orbit, but this post has already broken through that orbit to kind of the mainstream people, and they were pretty annoyed. And these are people that had the MAGA hats on, they had the Trump signs in their yard, and they're frustrated. And that's kind of where this came from. I've been a friend of the president. I continue to defend the president, and just a spoiler alert, that's not going to change, Sid. We're not the left. We don't do cancel culture. After one thing happens of frustration, we don't jump ship and immediately cancel somebody. I'm also not going to be like our ex-friend Tucker Carlson and make some merch out of attacking the president. That's just not going to happen here. But I think it's clear to say that we're not in a cult. I've been clear for a decade now in politics, and I'm a Christian first and a conservative second. The day that the party moves away from that, the day that our candidates move away from that, I move away from that. And I've been very clear on my stance here. And I think I'm allowed to offer criticism of the president here without jumping ship of the president. And so I'll say what you said, I'm very happy and satisfied to see that he took down the post. I think that's big from the president. I think it shows that this was an avoidable error, that instead of talking about some great things that he's done for Gen Z yesterday, we had to talk about this mess. But I think he's going to learn from it. I really do. And I think this is better than what we had under Biden. Under Biden, when we criticized the administration, when we criticized inflation, they dug their head in the sand and they said, "Oh, what is inflation? What is that word? Did you make that up? What are you talking about?" And President Trump came straight out, didn't love the excuse, but an excuse is an excuse, and the post is taken down, Sid, and I'm satisfied.
Everything you said was great except for one part. I'm not here to correct him, my son. He's not going to learn from it. No. He's going to do something almost exactly like it in a month or two, and we're going to be like, "Mr. President, we're trying to win the midterms. What are you doing?" Whether it's, the video, I'm not going to bring it up again, but the Lion King. And this thing, these unforced errors happen. He doesn't learn. He doesn't. But I guess that's part of the beauty, is that, he does what he wants to do. I believe he's the best president of my lifetime. I really believe that. I think I can make a pretty good argument. I know Democrats will think I'm nuts. He's the best president ever, but he doesn't learn. He doesn't learn. He keeps doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm just going to say this. This war in Iran is not very popular. I'm all for it. All right? Write it down, folks. Sid Rosenberg is 100% behind President Trump. I do think it's a necessary war. I really do, because of America, not Israel, all you anti-Semites, all of you. It's a very anti-Semitic thing, Curtis, to say that this is Bibi's war. It's not, okay? So I'm all behind the president with all of this. But it's not about Sid or Brilyn. It's not a popular war, even with Republicans. So I believe he's got to be very, very careful the next couple of months not to make unforced errors if we're not going to get shellacked come November. Is that a fair fear from me?
It's absolutely a fair fear. I think we're already having to fight off a lot of misinformation and a lot of comments, like you just said, from previous members of our party to our generation. And we don't need anything extra on that. On that Fox segment Sunday night, I was already having to defend the president pretty hard on areas that I agree with him on and swat away misinformation from some of the podcast bros out there that are really entertainers, that are in journalist clothing. But unfortunately, he added fuel to the fire by this completely avoidable thing. Listen, I don't think it's disrespectful to the president to call out forced errors like this. I think that's coming out of love, out of wanting to see him succeed. What I do think is disrespectful are people that want to say, like the comment you just said, that he's a puppet for Bibi or that he's fighting Bibi's war. I think claiming or just even thinking that Donald Trump, of all people, could be pushed around by anybody is probably the stupidest thing ever. Sid, you and I know the president pretty well. He can't be forced around by his own family, his own staff, clearly his own social media team. If you think a foreign nation is going to push him around, just go ask Nicolas Maduro sitting a few blocks down from you in a New York prison, or ask the Ayatollah. Oh, wait, he's dead. So clearly the president can't be pushed around by anybody, Sid. What
do you want to see the president do? I'm on record. I'm more vociferous than anybody about this, that I wanted to light him up. You know what's funny? You guys can't see this, but Brilyn is actually on a Zoom. So he puts this on his video. But the part they're working on here is I can see this handsome boy in his dorm room at Auburn University in Alabama, but he can't see me. So I say stuff and I see him smile. I see him laugh. So you know that I've been very adamant and very consistent. Do you know that tomorrow, April the 15th of 2025, President Trump, a year ago tomorrow, President Trump was on this show. I'm going to play it tomorrow 10 times. And I said, you need to bomb Iran. And he said, I'll consider it. A couple of months after that, we had Midnight Hammer, where he bombed all their nuclear facilities. A couple of months after that, now we're in an all-out war with Iran. We need to blow the living daylights. I understand that innocents will die, and we have to take that into account. How many? But there's no other way to do this at this point. Wasting time with J.D. Vance and Witkoff and Kushner. Another wasted meeting. Another wasted 10 days. I think it's hurting the president at this point. It's not helping us. Just do what you said you were going to do. And let's clean up the damn world and move on. What do you think?
Yeah. Who needs national security advisors when he's got Sid Rosenberg? Just call into the show and get his military advice from you. That's pretty good there. I like that. I'll have to listen more. No, listen, I think it's pretty clear. It's not helping the president to do what's happening right now. It's causing more confusion. There's not a clear message. I'm in support of what's going on, but I can't really defend what's going on because none of us know exactly what's going on. Originally, the president was really clear that we're going to go in and we're going to give freedom to the people of Iran to take over their country. They've been protesting for weeks and months. They've been killed on the street. He's going to give them their freedom, and then we're getting out of there. And now the mission has seemed to change a little bit, and that's fine, but it needs to be stated pretty clearly. I got to say, I was a little frustrated, angry, definitely not about this. This is more of a frustration thing, Sid, with the president's address to the nation like a week or two ago, because he kind of muddied the waters again. It wasn't like, we're going in, we're doing this, we're going to be out by this time. And I don't need an exact date. I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying clearly state why we're there, what we're doing, so that we can explain to young people at home why this threat is continuing. I think what the president's doing is smart, not to go in, drop some bombs, take out some leaders, and then immediately just jump ship and come back. We do have to kind of finish this off, but it shouldn't last much longer at all. This shouldn't be a forever war. The president's run against forever wars. I'm not saying he's going to do a forever war, because for a decade now in politics, he's been clear that he's anti-forever wars. He's anti-sending our generation to be drafted on the front lines of a proxy war. But I think this is kind of the time where he can say very clearly, you trusted me. I'm going to keep your trust. We'll be out of this and say a deadline, and we're going to make it better by the midterms.